Alex here with part two of The Respondent. This chapter was very short, and so I'm going to break my rule and actually I'll go ahead and publish part three tomorrow rather than make you wait another week. Anyway, going into part two, he really drives home his affluent lifestyle. He talks about his, and these are his words, sprawling home. He talks about how his life is a quote unquote fantasy that most other people would have. And I get why he's doing that. He's doing that to contrast it with the situation that he ended up in, which is in the mental health institution. And so, from my understanding is that's what he's trying to do, but I'm not sure that that's going to help people relate to him. There was actually a comment from one of my viewers in the last video that said that um, she would like to see Johnny Depp, Alec Baldwin, and this guy try to get through the family law system, quote, broke as a joke, unquote. So, I mean, it's not, I know why he's doing that. He's trying to show the sharp contrast, but he spends a lot of time on that. And it's a little odd to me that he spends so much time, driving that home. He talks about how ignorance is bliss until your life falls apart. Well, yeah, that's, yes, that's it. I mean, ignorance of the family court system is bliss until somebody goes through it and gets annihilated. That's true. His friends sensed that something was wrong when he was trying to go to work, and he's jumping around a bit. He's going both back and forward in chapter two, and one of the things that he mentions, I guess, my assumption is this is during the litigation, is that he couldn't sleep and that he couldn't think straight, that his friends, his coworkers could tell that people had to carry, what do they call it, pick up his slack, um, and that I guess at meetings he was able to offer nothing except word salad. That's his own. He used the word salad specifically, so he's very descriptive. A lot of adjectives. He really tries to tell a story. It probably would be a really good would be a really good fiction writer. All it does here is make me wonder about the other side of the story. But at the same time, as I've said in the previous videos, I understand that this is the type of way to write a book to get a lot of people to read it. If you are too analytical and you are too cerebral, you lose probably most of the public. So I can understand, or I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that I'll give him the benefit of the doubt as to why he's telling it from a storyteller's perspective. The He talks about his wife, and there's like an exchange. I guess she calls because he sent the sitter home, and the sitter thought, or the nanny home, and the nanny thought she was fired, and the nanny, I guess, freaked out and called his wife. Um, Apparently, he brings up that his wife was diagnosed with a panic disorder. Not sure that's a great thing to put in there because of the whole right to privacy of medical stuff, but at the same time, because it sounds to me like the person who thought she was fired, the nanny, may have had a pattern of these kinds of surprises in the past and may have relied on the wife to kind of say, hey, I don't know what's going on, he's being weird. Now guys, this is just suspicions that I have. I don't know for sure. I don't know this person. I don't know his ex, but I do get those types of suspicions, especially because he brings up story time with the children, laughing with them, joking with them, singing with them. I mean, I've heard this stuff before from my ex, and I've heard this stuff before from other high conflict exes. So I am fully aware that a high conflict ex can and does use these kinds of statements to make themselves seem like a loving parent. I'm not saying that there's any evidence that he isn't one. I'm not saying that there's any evidence of manipulation. I'm just saying that it is making me suspicious. And again, we're only on chapter two. So I think that most of my opinion is going to form when he actually starts to talk about the child custody litigation, but they are not there yet. And so instead of my opinion forming, instead of me starting to feel like this person indeed has gone through something, I'm just getting more and more suspicious the longer it takes to get to the litigation. At the end of chapter two, he talks about the odyssey for truth, that he wants to get to the bottom of how this could have possibly happened to him, how the country could have ended up so dystopian that he had no clue and all that. I mean, all of this is really just a lot of opinions and statements from the author, and not much more than that. So, not a whole lot of value to me as a person who's gone through a high conflict child custody case. Um, Same thing as I said before, I don't feel like it's a whole lot of value to anyone going through a high conflict child custody case, except to maybe think, hey, they're not alone. They might read it and say, hey, I'm not alone. Um, I'm not sure that that's going to offer anything useful in the context of actual litigation. And it might actually only really appeal to people who feel that they have lost. And what I mean by that is there are probably other people who've gone through child custody cases who actually wouldn't even relate to this, which is not good. I mean, because then now you're talking about a subset of a subset. So it's not a good chapter, in my opinion. It's just not. I think chapter 3 covers a lot of what chapter 2 does. It seems like a superfluous chapter. And like I mentioned, I normally would wait until next week to give you guys part 3. But because part 2 is so short, I'm going to go ahead and publish part 3 tomorrow.